Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Thursday night, June the 23rd. Once again, these are the charts for the day. I'm going to show you some new ones, some stocks we've followed before. For example, ADES, which was quite volatile in the last year or two. Check out this move from 4.5 up to 25. Fantastic in just 4 months. Then the stock came down hard and retested down towards the $8 level. From the mini base, exploded with a gap in June. Ran up to about the 17 and a half level, and then pulled back in here in very, very quiet, narrow action. Look at the last 3 days. Very low volume. The apex of this coil above the moving averages after a breakout. This is my favorite pattern. I'm looking for a move that breaks out, takes out the 17 level, and moves into the my target being about 2021. Keep your eye on this one for the move, but don't anticipate until we get that move to the upside. ARIA area continues to act great. After moving down this morning to 980, it reversed sharply, went up to 1048, closing at 1042, up 22 cents at 4 million shares traded, increasing volume, the best in 3 sessions, and it closed at the highest close we've seen all year. So at this point, I'm looking for a move to about 11 3/4, followed by 13. Big day for American Vanguard AVD. If you take a look at the overall pattern, I really like this 2-year base. We had a little pop through it and then a consolidation right along the breakout point, and then an explosive move. The real breakout came at the end of May, followed by a back and forth kind of trading range for about the last 3.5 weeks. Now today it popped from 1181 to 1354, closed at 1338 on more than 500,000 shares. That's a lot of volume for that stock, and it was up nearly 10%. You can see that the biggest volume this year, and at this point it's accelerating to a point where I think we're going to see short term something around 14 3/4, 15, but maybe even as high as 16 short term. And beyond that, secondary target around 18.5, 19. Caliper Life Sciences, one of our current swing trades, moving along nicely, consolidated from the last couple sessions. Today, reversed from 767 to 789 and closed up 12 cents. Now, that wasn't big, but it was the highest close we've seen and in months. And at this point, we may, if we can get a thrust through the $8 level, I'm looking for a move up towards 9.5, maybe 9 3/4. ESIC had a big day today. Now, if you take a look at the move a week and a half ago, it had this big explosive surge, ran up to resistance and backed off in orderly fashion, held the breakout point and the gap, and then surged right back. Yesterday, reaching up near the high and backing off. Today, moving down down to 458, but reversing sharply to 518. Up 30 cents or 6% today. It's a thinly traded stock, but I think it could make a quick move up towards the 5.5 area, maybe 5 3/4. But beyond that, I'm looking for something up around 7. Global Crossings, currently one of my favorite chart patterns. A big explosive move up, a 3.5-week coil, a breakout, a flag, another strong surge, and then another coiling type pattern. Well, that pattern was taken out 3 days ago. Yesterday was a very quiet session. Today it came down and then reversed, up 62 cents. Keep an eye on 37.5. A move through that, and the stock could accelerate up towards the mid-40s. GLNG, similar pattern, strong chart, very strong move from last year when it was trading around under 10. Now in the low 30s. The stock had gotten up to as high as 34 3/4, pulled back for a 3-week period to consolidate, held a rising trend line, and moving averages, and then has been moving up. Now, today it moved back down to 31.25 before reversed about $1.40 to close, only down 33 cents. So that was a good reversal day for it. I'm keeping my eyes on this one for a potential move up towards the 34 4 3/4 zone through 34 3/4. I'd look for GLNG to also move it to the mid-40s. JVA, one of the best charts on Wall Street right now. This explosive pop here in March was a precursor to this move. It then came down, based out for a couple of months, moved up to resistance and backed off, but held the moving averages, and then exploded. Here's the big move from 7 to about 16, pulled back down to a 3-day flag, popped for 2 more days, and then pulled back down for 2 days. Now it's moved up again. Now, today's high at 1643 was a new high, and the highest level we've seen in years, and it has approached and took out the all-time high I've set in 05. So this major hidden shoulders type pattern here could yield a move to the high 20s, if not more. Let's take a look at the daily chart again. This pattern is very explosive, and a move out of here could get us up quickly towards the 2021 range. My shorter-term trading target for JVA. Big day for MOBI, and that's 2 days in a row, and we may have finally reversed this big down move we saw from 23 all the way down to 5. But it's back up now to 768. Closed at the high for the day and the high for the move going away, just a tad above the 21. I'm looking for more upside to about 8.5, 8.75, maybe even as high as 9 before we get a pullback. But ultimately, the stock may make it back into the low teens. NZT, New Zealand Telecom. If you take a look back, you'll see that a multi-year base had formed. The stock got up to that in May, backed off, and then came on again. And here we are breaking out today up 38 cents or 4%. 1.4 million shares traded. The way it looks like it, I got a target around 11. Beyond that, longer term, I'm looking for something around 13.75, 14. ONTY, wanted to point that out that it had a big reversal day 2 days ago and followed through to the downside yesterday. Heavy volume for 2 days, but it did hold lateral price support, and today actually reversed 42 cents or 5%. Worth keeping an eye on, because if this is not reversed quickly to the downside, this can accelerate to the upside and get up towards that 10.5, 11 range, my short-term target. ORS, a very volatile stock, but with a very high beta. As you can see, it's in a new rising channel that calls for a move to 11, 12 zone. But first, we got to get through 7, 7.25, of course, and that's my short-term target. PCYC had a beautiful reversal today, dipping down to 8.59, right to the channel bottom and lateral price support, and then reversed about 90 cents to close up on the day through about 3%. Let's see if we get a follow through the 965 area. I'm looking for about 10.75, 11. QLIK, one of our portfolio swing trade positions, right back up to test the May high, and if we get through that, look for a move to take this to 38 plus. RPTP Raptor took a dip after a beautiful move and spiked down, reversed, and today back up again 54 cents. Any move across 675 to get this spiking up into the 7.5, 3/4 range, maybe even as high as 8. That's our target. Seattle Genetics, another swing trade idea of ours. After popping out and then consolidating for 2 days, reversed down to 1962 and then back up to 2022 today. Perhaps reversing back up to where maybe my swing target around 22. Favorite junior solar, GT Solar, SOLR, which has moved from 9 to 15 in the last couple months, particularly accelerating the last week, coming from about 12.5 up to 15. You can see is near the top of the channel and top of the short-term and intermediate-term channels. Any thrust through here means the stock could accelerate, and I'd look for a move to 17.5, 18. Finally, tonight is SREV, a stock we liked and talked about in early May when it ran here. But over the last 4 weeks, it's been consolidating a very tight channel. Well, that was broken today. 928,000 shares, that's the biggest volume in about 6 weeks. The stock popped out, jumped to $1.14, closed at 20.03, up 6%. What I'm looking for is a test and take out of 23/4, and then a move into the 23.25 zone, my short-term trading zone. And lastly, today is ZAG. You know, it's a stock we've liked a lot in the last month. The stock's moved up dramatically from 8.5 to 15.85 today. It was all over the place, jumping to 15.85, dropping down to 13.80, and then spiking back over 15. So that had some good action and closed slightly positive on the day. After all of that, it looked like a lot of stock was taken out. A lot of sellers were taken out. This stock can now work its way higher. Any move above 15.85 and look for something near 17 plus. That's it for this evening and for this week. Have a good weekend. Talk to you Monday night.